Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to my recap of the season 1 finale of She's Gotta Have It. It's Thanksgiving, and Nola's parents have gone out of town, leaving her in Brooklyn to her own devices. Rockaletta Moss wouldn't let Nola off work, so here she is in her brownstone. Nola says Thanksgiving is about family, and she's very thankful for her parents. She also makes note of the genocide of Native Americans and how their land was stolen from them, and she equates that to modern-day gentrification, but like, happy Thanksgiving anyway. Nola's at her house in her headscarf, and she is cooking a proper Thanksgiving meal. She sets a table for 4, and just like in the film, she invites all her men to the Thanksgiving table. This is bold as f. The first man to arrive is Mars. Wait, what is Mars doing here? Because I thought Nola broke up with him. Clearly they mended, but what did that look like? He keeps it classic with the Junior's cheesecake, the best cheesecake ever. He also has her favorite Prince album in tow. Mars, in true Mars fashion, asks if they could get a quickie in before the meal is served. Next up is Jamie, who, again, I thought Nola broke up with. That letter in the last episode sounded like a breakup note, no? Mars answers the door and mistakes him for a delivery man. He takes Jamie's wine and tries to give him a tip. Jamie busts in the house like, what's happening here? You would be one of the 3 men that are coming to Thanksgiving. Last to arrive is Greer, who brings flowers. I'll give these men credit for not showing up empty-handed. What I won't give credit for is Greer's outfit. What the hell is he wearing? I am a die-hard, dyed-in-purple cloth Prince fan. I don't even walk around with sheer shirts with fishnet sleeves. Greer likes to say he has a European sensibility because he was raised in France for a while. No, I've been to Europe. The men ain't walking around like that. You just on some next-ish. Once all 3 of her guests are there, Nola was like, well, talk amongst yourselves. Get to know one another. I'm going to go get dressed. The guys size each other up, and it takes them a minute to realize that they were all standing there together at the art gallery. And they're like, oh, I would have walked out. What you're not going to do is invite me to Thanksgiving dinner and spring me on 2 other people that you're dating and expect me to sit there and act like it's okay. If a man did this mess, there would be memes, Twitter feeds, BuzzFeed and BET would run stories about him. This is not acceptable. It's the best in terms of storytelling, but this is absolutely the worst Thanksgiving idea ever. Don't try this mess at home because you will have a brawl up in your house. Nola and her men are sitting around the Thanksgiving dinner table, eating. Wait, how is Jamie here? Where is his wife and child on Thanksgiving Day? Nola says, if anybody's uncomfortable, anybody wishes to exit, now is the time. She's conducting this mess like she's presiding over a wedding. Ma'am, this is bold AF. Jamie prays the most dignified prayer of life. Greer prays he's thankful for his white mother, for his face not being scratched. I hate this fool. Mars says he's thankful that his sister hasn't thrown him out of her house in the project. Sir, you're oversharing. Nola asks God to protect everyone because a clown has the nuclear codes. That's a worthy prayer. Finally, one of the guys asks, why are we here? Nola's like, well, you know, I make a lot of mistakes and I'm not going to punish myself over them. And I don't like being called a freak. And the world has made me the man of my dreams. She's quoting Michelle and Dege Ocello, which I'm like, what? What does that mean? I think it's Jamie who asked again. He was like, why are we here? Nola points out that since they've all asked about one another, they're all curious about who else she's dating. She figured it was high time they all meet. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. You invite them over for Thanksgiving under the guise of being open and honest, but what you're really being is an asshole, Nola. The guys obviously don't like it, and Nola's like, well, that's for you to deal with. Part of me appreciates the bossness of that response, but I'm also like, girl, what are you doing? I get it. Everybody's single. Everyone's free to see everyone else. Greer has a whole roster of women. Mars has some other women on speed dial. Jamie has a whole wife at home. How is he here? But this is not the way singleness is supposed to operate. This whole idea of they must be brought together as one collective community. No. Greer, the same man who walked in a restaurant and had knocked down 10 women in the venue, is like, what kind of lady? Sir, you are no gentleman. And Nola's like, acts like a man? I absolutely acknowledge that there are some behaviors that men have that it would be good for women to pick up on. That ain't one of them. What she's doing is really ballsy, but it's also really messed up. Like, no one wants to spend Thanksgiving this way. You couldn't even give them a heads up so they could make a decision about whether they wanted to participate in your crazy ass idea. Nola's washing the dishes when Greer comes in the kitchen. He says he wants to help. He don't want to help. He want to be away from those other men. Mars comes in the kitchen too. Nola brushes him off. What kind of Badu is this woman putting on these men? Jamie comes in the kitchen. He answers the $50 million question. He tells Nola he got into a fight with his wife at the Thanksgiving table and she told him to get out the house. So he came over to Nola's house instead. Jamie, you started a fight with your wife just like Chris Rock did and I Think I Love My Wife, so your wife would put you out so you could come to Nola's house. You ain't gotta lie, Jamie. You ain't gotta lie. Jamie tells Nola that this situation is highly uncomfortable. You think? She was like, yeah, being uncomfortable could be a good thing. It forces you to evolve. And Jamie, I don't understand your choices, sir. The woman that you think you're in love with has just invited you to Thanksgiving with 2 of her other men. You have a whole wife and child at home. And you want to talk to this woman with 2 other men waiting in the other room about how you want to buy her a house that y'all can live in together. Is that God's plan for you? Jamie is absolutely delusional. Nola says thanks, but no thanks. She hits him with the line about being a strong, independent black woman. She also levels with him. She's like, what if your wife cancels a check on me again? How do you feel bad about his wife canceling a check, but you don't feel bad about the whole wife? When she's done with the dishes, she goes into the living room. She sits on the couch and starts smoking. This is the height of unbothered. Nola tells the guys that she has good weed that's like truth serum. And she would like to reveal to them her latest artwork. She takes the guys over to the canvas, and it's a portrait of the 3 guys all melded together in that 3-headed monster that Dr. Jameson described to her. The guys are naked. The painting is anatomically correct. They're horrified with good reason. If I was one of them men, I would have knocked her damn painting on the floor and stomped on it. How dare you insult people like that? I get it. You don't care. You live life on your own terms. It doesn't give you the right to be straight up rude, disrespectful, and embarrass people. Greer says he's out. Nola, still unbothered, puts on Prince and starts to dance. Greer sees the other men dancing, and so he decides he's going to stay. I would have respected you a lot more if you dipped. This is all about his ego. At this point, you can't possibly have interest in a woman who would do this to you. They end up in this crazy dance-off to Raspberry Beret. Spike Lee really loves a good musical dance-off moment. Greer is doing some weird Prince shuffle. I am not convinced that man is fully straight. This is bizarre. They do this dance off and then they all fall asleep on the bed together because they have the itis. Like, I love Spike, but Spike is out of his damn mind. This is crazy. The guys eventually leave one by one. Nola ends up sleeping in the bed alone. When she finally wakes up, she starts talking about the Rashomon effect, how everyone has different point of views on the same situation. No, everyone thinks this is nuts. The entire viewing audience thinks this is crazy, just so you know. But Nola says the men in her life all look at her very differently. Actually, their perspective on you is probably pretty consistent. They all think you're seeing other people. They all think you're pretty nuts for inviting them over for Thanksgiving. You think what you're doing is okay. They don't think it's okay. I'm fine with you dating whoever you want to date. I'm fine with you dating multiple people. I'm fine with you being polyamorous and pansexual. But I think you also sometimes need to acknowledge that you're really immature and selfish, insecure, and don't like to be alone. She says that she's not going to allow anyone to put her in a box. And if the guys want to deal with her, then it has to be on her own terms. That's not really working out well for you. They're not okay with it. You know they're not okay with it. They should leave, but you should too. This is your life. It's not a dress rehearsal. When Nola's done with her rant, her buzzer rings. It's our dear friend Opal. Girl, run. Nola about to ruin your life. I love Nola. Nola's messy. Opal's showing up unannounced. Because pop-ups are all the rage these days. She has a bottle of champagne, and she wants to know if Nola wants to drink the champagne with her. Opal, you in danger, girl. Unsurprisingly, Nola says, yeah, sure, come on up. Again, I don't know if she really likes Opal or she wants to be Opal. She wants Opal to rescue her. So it looks like the merry-go-round continues. Nobody's getting off. Mars ain't going nowhere. Greer ain't going nowhere. Jamie ain't going nowhere. And Opal had gone somewhere and decided to come back. You could do better. You really could. I can't wait till season 2. Let me know what you thought about the finale. You know what I thought. I think Nola's nuts. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.